We got the welterweight champion of the world on. How are you, Belal?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm fantastic. Great to talk to you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. We got a lot to talk about. You are the champion of the world, as I said. That was just, I think it shocked everyone. Probably not you, but I don't think anyone expected you to go out there and let's be honest, manhandle Leon. I certainly didn't. I'll be honest. You know what I mean? Given the first fight, I thought, shit, it's a tough night for Belal. But you believed in yourself. You said it all week. You were exuding confidence. And when it came to showtime, man, it was undeniable.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nose where a lot of people are like surprised, right? But I think me and my team, the ones that are in the gym with me, they know what we're capable of doing. So it wasn't a surprise to us. And same mindset with you, right? Nobody believed that you could do it to Rockhold, right? It was short notice, but your team did. You believed it. You thought you could. And for myself, I had to live with it for 3 years of that first fight with Leon Edwards, of everybody saying, oh, this fight's going to be easy. He's going to walk through you. You didn't belong in there with him. The rest of the rounds would have went like that. And it did nothing but motivate me. It pushed me. And it just made me more so, instead of winning the belt, proving that I'm better than him. So when people ask me, how does it feel to be the champion? I was like, it felt better to beat Leon more than winning the belt, because that was my goal. My goal wasn't to, let me raise the belt. I wonder how that's going to feel. I wanted to know how this feels. I want to know how me beating Leon was going to feel, because I worked so hard for that. And I knew what I was capable of doing. And I knew that I was better than I showed on that night. So to be able to do that, to prove myself right and to prove my coaches right and to show us that we were doing the right stuff. I am in the right spot. We are a small team, but we have a real champion now. And that means more to me than anything.
I resonate with that so much, because I understand completely what you say for the reasons that you said. It's about, of course, we all want to be the champ. And that's fantastic. Of course, we want to be the champ. But also, you want to go out there and you want to shut the doubters up. Anyone that's talking shit online and all the rest of it, to go out there to shut everyone up, even so-called analysts, people like me, everyone, you go out there, put them in the place. And more importantly, the opponent, because Leon's a great guy, but he was very sure and kind of dismissive of the threat that you possessed. So I'm assuming that side of it as well for you personally was a big thing.
Oh, yeah, especially him and his team, right? His coaches, they were talking trash. And Leon's not really a big talker, right? But the fact that he was brushing it off like I wasn't worth his time. I'm sitting there on a 10-fight winning streak, and he's saying that, like, I don't deserve the title shot. And for myself to sit there and watch this guy who went through the same process that I went through, the same path and the long road to the title shot, and then for you to tell me that my resume is not good enough to fight you, that tell me that he's not worth my time, it's going to be an easy fight. That did nothing but push me to go harder in the gym. Every day in the gym, I'm listening to his walkout music. I want to hear it because I want to feel like what it's going to feel like in the cage. I want to feel the boos, right? I want to feel I'm going to Manchester. I want to feel that crowd that hates me, that wants to sit there and tell me that I'm going to lose this fight, that thinking of the people that are going to laugh if I lose this fight. I thought about all of that, and I wasn't afraid of it. I was afraid of not going in there and performing to what I'm capable of doing, like the first fight, how it ended after one round. That's what I was afraid of most, that, hey, what if I get caught with something and that happens? Because anybody can get caught, right? And it can happen to anybody. There's so many ways to lose a fight. So for me, it was just like, I'm not afraid of the boos. I'm not afraid of the enemy territory. I'm not afraid of the chatter. I'm afraid of going in there and not doing what I know I'm capable of doing. So that's why I wanted to stay calm all week. I wanted to stay confident all week. My team, my family, everybody that was with me, we just had the perfect vibes, because you could go into fight week, right? And one person can throw off your whole fight week. If there's any animosity or any, somebody being negative or something like that, it could just throw off the whole energy. But the energy felt great all week. The people felt great all week. And the fight day was like the perfect day for me.
Just one last thing, because it seems like I'm giving you an opportunity to rip on Leon, but when we had the fighter meetings, because you were very emotional, it's like it seemed like you hated Leon. And when I asked you about that at the fighter meetings, you explained it perfectly, and you just kind of touched on it there, because what was it, 10 fights in a row, something like that, undefeated. Leon took the same path, and you thought that if anyone should understand the position you're in. It should be him, and he didn't, and that kind of got to you, right?
Oh yeah, it got to me. It pissed me off, and that's why even now, where I hate to like even bring up fights when I beat a fighter, right? Like I never want to kick a man when he's down, but Leon, I'll kick when he's down. I don't care. I'm gonna make fun of him when he's down because they like I said, they said I wasn't worth it. They said that I'm gonna walk through him. They said it was gonna be easy, and for me to go out there and beat him the way he did, and now for him to go, ghost. Nobody even knows what happened to him. And for his team to come out with little excuses, right? They say, oh, he had a bad back all the time. And Leon to come out and say, oh, I didn't have good sleep. Like, bro, just own up to it. I was better than you. I am better than you. Like, that's the difference between, I think, great fighters and the fighters that fizzle out, is they always come up with excuses for every loss. Tony Ferguson has a reason for every loss that he has right now. I didn't spar in 10 years. Now I'm going to spar. Now I'm going to do this. Like, you're looking for those reasons instead of just saying that, like, he was better than me. I need to fix these weaknesses. And there's not a lot of guys that own up to their losses and own up to, losing to a better guy, because you could always fix what you're weak at, right? But there's a lot of guys that won't do that. They'll come up with excuses. But nowadays, before it bothered me, right? When I would beat Gilbert Burns, all he had one arm. When I would beat Wonderboy, all you did was wrestle. When I beat like Maya, all you did was fight takedowns. But like now it doesn't bother me anymore because I got the gold. So all these people that are hating, all these fans that are crying, I got the gold now, so I could do all the talking, and you have to listen, right? Because I'm the man with the mic now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because it's easy for people to like come to these to establish these narratives. Like Sean Brady was an experience. Sean Brady just went out there and beat Gilbert Burns in a bloody fantastic performance. As you said, Gilbert had one arm and all. It's easy for people to come up with these narratives, but you just went and beat Leon, a man that looks like on paper might rule the roost for a long time and all the rest of it. And you beat him fair and square. Not only that, in his own backyard. Speaking of which, another funny thing was you were like, I'm going to be loved in Manchester. And I tell you what, you were loved in Manchester. I saw you. You were rolling around, what was it, a Lamborghini SUV. You're in a bloody Rolls Royce Phantom. You were like a bloody pop star out there.
Honestly, it was amazing. That was probably the best fight week that I ever had. I was just like, the people over there, they took care of us so much. I wasn't even expecting to have a place to go train, but we had a gym. They opened the doors to us, and we were going over there to train at 4 a.m. in the morning the whole week. So for them, and we had a parade right after the fight. They surprised me.
Dude, I saw it. It was crazy.
Street, and I'm like, there's going to be somebody that throws something at me. There had to be a hater there. But they're all cheering, man. It was epic. It was literally like a movie.
Yeah, no, congratulations, Belal. And I truly mean that, because you earned it, man. That's hard work. Simple as that. There's no shortcuts. There's no flukiness. That's just sticking to your guns, working your goddamn ass off and making it a reality. So for that, I got to say congratulations. I think a lot of people can draw a lot of inspiration from that, because people did kind of write you off, which I understand pissed you off. So yeah, just phenomenal. Manchester, what did you think of Manchester? Because, it's a beautiful city. I'm from there. The people are fantastic. The weather and the food, what did you think? Be honest.
Honestly, the weather was great all week because
that's right. It was July.
Yeah, they were telling me it's terrible weather here. And I was like, wait, what? Bro, I'm like jogging outside every day. It was so nice. I mean, the press conference was the funniest, right? Because I'm over there and, there's kids in the audience and I'm giving a fist pound. They're giving me the middle finger. And I was like, bro, what's going on here? But it was funny because everybody, that's Manchester, man. That's what they are over there. But it was cool, right? Because I love that energy. I love to be the bad guy in places because I want to turn them. Like I said, I had a lot of fans there as well, but it felt good to just have that energy. Whether you hate me or you love me, I just want to feel the energy. I don't want to go out there and just like, that's why I love back and forths. When you have those fights where you're going against a nice guy and there's really, you can't talk trash to a Wonder Boy. You can't talk trash to like a Luke because they're nice guys. They're great fighters, but there's no animosity there. This fight felt good this week because there was animosity. There was going back and forth. I hated Leon. I hated his team. So it made me hate Manchester. Even though Manchester, the energy was great over there. The people were great over there. But I didn't really get to experience the food because I had my nutritionist with me the whole week. My chef, Ian Larios, was with me. So he was with me for 6 weeks. So him going out there, But yeah, my family, they were with me for my team. We had them bringing us food the whole week. So me watching them eat, like they were enjoying it. They said it was great.
Dude.
Yeah, we had
that's the worst though. We're watching the teammates stuff their faces when you're trying to make weight.
It was, and they were like bringing us buffet style stuff. They were like, "Oh, we got burgers, we got chicken, we got rice," and then every night they'll do cheesecake. And I was like, because we had a house away from the hotel, so like they would just bring a smorgasbord of stuff every time to the house, and I had to sit there and just watch them all eat it. And I love dessert, so they were bringing cheesecake every night. They were bringing like brownies, and I was just like, let me just smell it, let me just look at it.
Well, you know, I say I used to hate that. What I used to do with a good friend of mine, Jacko, I would, the night before the weigh-in, I'd share a room with him and I'd order room service, what I wanted. I'd make him eat it and I'd direct him how to eat it, like get a bit of that and put that on the phone. Now talk to me. How does it taste? You know, just living vicariously through him. Right. Congrats. Anytime somebody becomes the champion, you know what the conversation is. Who, what, when, is next. And I know there's been a lot of discussion. I'm sure you've probably seen it. Shavkat Rakhmonov is out there claiming that you turned him down.
But that's the thing, right? When you got guys now that want to talk, I think for him now claiming and coming out trash talking, it was because me and Usman were just going back and forth talking trash. So I think for him, he was just like, let me get in the picture. Let me get into the mix. Let me say it's him. Let me say it's like his manager or somebody tweeting for him. So I'm like, bro, this guy don't even speak English, but he's coming out here with these highly.
What was that word? Because I saw that word and you said, hold on a minute. That word doesn't exist in Kazakhstan or whatever language they speak. What was the word?
I forgot what it was, but I was like, bro, I know this ain't him writing this. He's going through ChatGPT, how to talk trash to Bully B. But I'm like, bro, it really, to me, obviously, to me, I don't think there's a clear number one contender, right? Because when you look at it, when I look at myself, I had to have a number one contender fight with me and Gilbert Burns. So I had to fight him. They told me, you win this, you're next. He was on a streak. I was on a streak. For Shvkat, he beat Wonder Boy over a year ago, and Wonder Boy was on a 3-fight losing streak at the time. So for you to say, I deserve this title shot next because I'm 18-0, it's like, bro, you didn't have a number one contender fight. Usman's on a 3-fight losing streak. Ian Garry, I think, probably had the toughest win out of all of them, beating MVP, because MVP is a tough puzzle to solve. So for him to win that and be undefeated, it's like that. But I think just the fans and the UFC, I see them looking at Shavkat like that next guy in line. And I mean, I'm gladly willing to do it, right? Because for me, honestly, I would think that Usman's a tougher fight. Because when I look at Shavkat, I see a lot of holes, and I see many paths to victory. When I look at a fight and I take a fight, I come up with a strategy, and I think of, where's this guy weak at? Let me take him there. Leon,
yeah, no, absolutely.
Not good moving back. Let me take him there. So I look at Shavkat and I see a lot of those weaknesses. So I'm like, all right, well, you guys wanted to test it, and that's why I think for the UFC, they don't want to put him against like a Usman for a number one contender fight, because Usman beats him. It's like we just lost the undefeated guy, new blood, and we just have Usman back in the mix again, who was just the reigning champion for 5 years. So I think they want new blood in general. So I think that's why they would probably want to give me Shavkat next.
Okay. I mean, I understand because he's got the shiny record, 18-0, all finishes. It looks beautiful. I guess when you dig a little deeper, though, when you look at the wins, and there's no disrespect to people like Neil Magny or Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, they're great guys, tremendous fighters, but they're not the top of the food chain guys like you had to go through and other people have to. So, you know, you can kind of make that narrative there. Harrington, get off the screen. What are you doing? You're ruining the interview. The good news is for you, I'm looking at the rankings right now. You got a lot of choice. You got a lot of people. You know, you got the potential for a tremendous one. You have got Usman, Shavkat, Jack Della Maddalena. There's Covington in there, Ian Machado, Garry. If you could choose, and you are the champion, so you do get a say in this, who do you think you'd go for?
I mean, if I'm thinking, obviously money plays a big factor in everything. Usman, you probably make the most money with, because I think he's the biggest name. And legacy-wise, he was the guy that was the reigning champion for a long time. Dana White said he was better than GSP. So I think legacy, for sure, I would want to fight Usman before he's done. But Shavkat is that guy. I had to beat that Sean Brady, right, who had all the hype, and I took his O from him. So for me beating him, I think that there's no excuses. If I go out there and I fight Usman now, people are going to say, oh, Usman's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's done with. He's old. He's this. He's that. Shavkat's the guy. I beat him. There's really nothing you can say. He's undefeated, 18-0, all finishes. He's young. There's nothing you can say. Even for the Leon, there's excuses after that fight. I don't think Shavkat's the type to come up with excuses if he loses the fight.
Do you think there's any, just to bring it back to Leon, you mentioned him there, is there any, what would he have to do to get another fight against you? Because I'm assuming now, not that you're vindictive, but you'd be like, bro, you got to go earn this shit. And I'm English, by the way. I ain't talking crap on Leon, but like as a fighter to fighter, I totally get it because that's what I'd do.
Oh, what dude? He would have to fight 3 years. He would have to wait 3 years. He'd have to apologize, make a tweet every 3 years, every month, apologizing of why he thought he could beat me, and then I'll give him a shot. But I think if he gets a couple more victories, like you said, there's a lot of guys out there in the division right now that don't have fights. Jack Della is on a big win streak, doesn't have a fight. Ian Machado doesn't have a fight. You have Sean Brady, who just won this weekend dominantly. He's right back in the mix. And I think a lot of those guys are going to have to fight each other just so we start getting clear contenders. Like everybody can't just hold their own. Some of these undefeated guys are going to have to fight each other. I think if I'm matchmaker, I'm looking at Sean Brady versus Usman, and I'm looking at Ian Garry against Leon, and Jack Della. I think he's out, he's injured. But even him because he's not even proving himself. He was getting beat by Gilbert Burns until he called Gilbert Burns at the last minute. So I would give him another test, maybe like an MVP. But
yeah, I like that one though. Leon versus Ian Garry. That'd be an interesting stylistic matchup. Just to watch two strikers go at it. Another guy, and I saw you say this, and I get it. I understand. Because if he does finally come back and he fights Michael Chandler at 170 pounds, I always said this. I said, whether or not anybody likes this, I thought Leon was going to be the champ. We're going to see Leon versus Conor McGregor for the welterweight strap because he's got the resume, he was the double champ, he's got the stardom and all the rest of it. And you were like, no, you wouldn't take that fight. I'm talking about Conor McGregor, by the way, in case anybody hasn't figured that out.
Honestly, if I'm being I don't even think he fights, but if you're looking at Conor, who he's fought, think about it. His last win is against Donald Cerrone, and that was when Donald Cerrone was on his way out, and it was 4 years ago. And if it took this long for Michael Chandler to get this fight, and it's still not even gotten it yet, I'm not going to sit there and wait to maybe fight him. Once you're the champ, right? That's when you make the most money. That's when you get that's when you want to fight the most. So for me, I like to stay active. I did not want to wait over a year to fight Leon Edwards, but it was I had to wait to get that opportunity. Now I'm the one given the opportunities. So I would rather fight because I don't think there's anybody out here that can beat me. So I think that I want to stay active. I want to get on that Alex Pereira schedule of let's just go 3 times a year. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Everybody wants to do that as well. 3 times a year when you're the champ, get that money coming in. How's life been? What's it been? A month or so? Yeah. I was how you've been enjoying this ride because it is. You've climbed the mountain. You've done it. You've reached the peak. You're on top of the world. 7 billion people on the planet, and there's only one welterweight champion of the UFC. What has the last few weeks been like for you?
Honestly, I miss the regular just being able to go train days, just to go to the gym and train because it's been nonstop appearances, do this, do that. And you're everybody's cousin now. Everybody wants to be your family member.
Yeah.
I had to change my phone number.
Everybody wants you on the podcast.
But it's I would do that, right? These are what I enjoy, not the ones that are, oh, brother, we went to your fight and we were going to support your fight.
Yeah.
But it was such a long trip. And I was like, you didn't come to my fight when it was in Indiana down the street, but you said you would have came to my next fight for sure. Everybody wants to be your family member now. I'm getting random calls. So I had to change the number that I had since high school. But more, for the most part, it's just seeing my dad be able to celebrate it, right? He's showing his friends the belt. People are asking my mom for pictures at, the grocery store. So seeing them get that superstar treatment is a sweet part for me.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And I was going to mention that actually, because I remember, and if I'm getting some facts wrong, what happened years ago? Your dad's got a grocery store and they vandalized it and they trashed it and all the rest of it, right? Was this during the pandemic? Is that correct?
Yeah, during the pandemic, he had a cell phone store, and they when they had the riots in Chicago, they smashed everything, they burned it down.
Yeah, yeah. And then now you are here, champion of the world. I mean, it's amazing. Must make them so proud.
Yeah, and I'm very religious, right? So then I always look back at everything and saying everything happens for a reason. Those things happen for a reason. And my family's the same way, where we don't sit there and, we're not going to sit there and pout and cry over something like that. It's like, all right, well, we got to move on. We got to fix it. We got to do something else. And that was always my mindset with fighting. You lose a fight, all right, so whatever. Get back up, get back to work, get better. We have to fight another guy to get the title shot. It's okay. Take it. Let's fight it. We have to wait a year. Whatever. It's meant to be. Take it. And now looking back at everything that I had to go through, it made me the best version of myself on that date, July 27th. So all the ups and downs for me and my family, now we think back to where we were 3 or 4 years ago. It's like we're blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the perfect attitude, because at the time when you're going through things like that, it's easy to feel sorry for yourself. But now when you look back, the struggle, it's all part of the journey, and it makes it worthwhile, and it makes, achieving what you did so much more worthwhile, and there's so much more satisfaction involved.
Yeah. And bro, like I was talking with Joe Rogan this weekend. I had a detached retina before too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And just like reading your book, it like tears, it was tearing me up, because I was like, somebody knows what I went through. And you're like, I was going to like the cataract doctor. And you're like,
when did this happen?
This is probably like 5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. So I've had 2 detached retinas.
Jesus Christ. That's what happened to me.
It's the worst feeling ever. And I tell people, bro, you don't know how depressing it is to deal with it. And like you said, you go to the eye doctor and there's like old people there, and you're like,
yeah,
but I don't belong in here with these guys. Like, what's going on over here? And you don't know if you're going to fight again, and you don't know how it's going to react, or if it's going to happen one more time. And I'm like, if it happens one more time, I'm done. I can't deal with that one more time. But yeah, the whole journey, right? And then all of a sudden we get the belt. So now it's like all that led to this. So it was all worth it in the end.
So hold on. So you detached the retina. They did surgery to repair that.
Yeah.
And then what happened with the second one? The same eye down the line?
The same eye down the line, I ended up getting a cataract in there. And then, so it was like foggy in there. So I was like foggy in there for a while. And that led to another detached retina because of it. Yeah. And it was one of those where you don't want to go to the doctor, because, we're fighters. We were like, I don't want to go to the doctor. So like I had a black shade inside of my eye, and I was like, it's all good. Nothing. It's nothing. Maybe I just got poked or something, whatever. And then it was before I was supposed to go with Jared Gordon to Brazil. He was fighting in Brazil, and I was going to corner him down there. And it was like his last sparring. And then like he hit me one more time, and then it went like fully black. And I was like, all right, now I think I should go to the doctor. Yeah. And then we went to the doctor. He was like, you got to have surgery right away. We got to put you in. But I did the eye bubble. I didn't do the oil in there.
Right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. For me, I detached twice, and then I got glaucoma though. And the glaucoma is what took the vision, because it just this. Do you know what glaucoma is? Your eye fills with, if you touch your eye, it's wet. So it fills with moisture, but it's always coming out of a drain. In glaucoma, the drain gets blocked, so it continues to fill with the fluid. And then the tension, the pressure gets so high. Because you know what it's like. You go and get your eyeball pressure tested, and it has between 9 and 20. Mine was on like 85. And then by the time they did the surgery, that was it. I never saw it again. So, wow. But it is what it is. It's an old story. We're here to talk about you. Belal, I couldn't be happier for you, man. I truly mean that. It's amazing, because people wrote you off. They talk shit. You always believed in yourself. And it does remind me of my journey a little bit, because everyone said Bisping's out of his mind. What's he doing? What's he talking about? And I saw similar chatter, towards yourself. And you go out there, you get your shot. And you know what? In some ways, getting the first round stoppage or submission would have been beautiful. But you went out there and dominated him for 5 rounds. In some ways, does that feel better?
Yeah, I feel like it cements it more, right? Because people could always say, oh, well, you just knocked him out, you did this. but like I beat him in all aspects. I outstruck him. I out wrestled him. I out grappled him, and I beat him in every way you can in martial arts. So I just showed in general that I'm more of a complete fighter than him. So to go out there and beat him like that, there's really nothing else. And I think there's no reason for a rematch after that, right? Because even if you do get caught, you can say, oh, let me get the rematch, or I deserve it, I earned it, blah, blah, blah. But like to get dominated for 5 rounds.
You're the Canelo of the welterweight division, bro. Come on.
Yeah, people sleep, right? People like, but I work so hard. People don't understand how hard I work. And I was just talking to Darren Till yesterday on he was on Spaces.
Dude, I saw it. Him and who was it? Hamzat?
Yeah. But I was out there and I told he was like, Belal, I would outstrike you. And I was like, bro, you had never seen me spar. I'm gonna come to Liverpool, we're gonna spar. And he's like, I would embarrass you. And I was like, all right, let's go, man. I just to show you guys that I can strike. People sleep on my striking.
Oh, that's hilarious. Listen, Belal, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'm sure you've got a busy schedule. I know you're cornering someone this weekend. Who are you cornering?
Ignacio Bahamondes.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, dude, he spoke so highly about you. And who did I commentate again recently? And they were training with you. And Michael Morales.
Oh, yeah, man. He's a tank.
Yeah, no, he was talking very highly and how he's improved and all the rest of it. So, dude, enjoy the moment. Congratulations. It's incredible. Can't wait for the next fight. And long may the reign continue.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.